I think there's there's an old Walt Disney saying that the good guy's only as good as the bad guy is bad. And I'm not a tremendously likable person. I mean, I think I'm an alright guy, but I find that, once people, it takes a little while to get to know me. For some reason, maybe it's the way my face is built or whatever, I don't know. So they hire me a lot of times to be that guy. And then it turns out to be that people do actually not hate me totally.
They just love to hate you.
They do. They love to, I'm that guy. They love to be the bad guy, Ooh, that's the key. You can't think of yourself as a bad guy. You got to believe you're doing the right thing for the right reasons at the right time. The events that surround you will define your behavior in terms of how it's perceived. So, I can't do any of that, Can't do any shifty eye movements. She does that really well. Watch. Look at the shifty eye. Look at that. I'm scared of her. I love this stuff. I love the people that surround these kind of projects. They're so creative, and they just have a desire to reach past average storytelling. And I think the most important thing is the fans of this genre, I've found from around the world, I've done these cons, are so loyal. And as long as you don't break the rules and respect the rules, and there are rules, you'll be okay, because they're loyal, and it's a great bunch of people. Truthfully, I've met some of the best fans in the world at conventions.
Carlton and Ryan have written it...
I don't want to know.
They've written it really ambiguous. But I think Maddy is pragmatic. And, she has to believe and buy what she's doing is the right thing in order to make anybody else believe it. She's got to truly believe herself. And I think also as a character, for the audience to get on board, she's got to buy that she believes in this. So I think she does to a certain degree. But look, if suddenly her occupation were threatening to kill her kid, of course she'd go for the resistance. Like, I think that's what makes Maddy really interesting, is she'll sort of go with the flow wherever it takes her so that she can save her own skin and make sure that her child will survive. So right now, being with Nolan and being a part of the occupation and being aligned with the transitional authority makes the most sense to her.
I always feel like that from the beginning. I feel like, look, it's me doing it, so you gotta, at least entertain. People by now know the package they're getting. I'm not an unknown commodity in this town. I mean, I bring what I bring. They know it, and they're willing to work with it. I think it only makes it stronger and better. I always feel at home right from the beginning. The first episode of Heroes proved that to me. And then we really knew what we were doing right from the beginning. Prior to that, it was a little bit of a... So, I hear your question. But no, with this one, right from the beginning.
Well, I think with Maddy, she was a completely different character when I was cast. And the writers went, this doesn't make sense. We have to write Maddy stronger than the way she was written, because it didn't match the casting. So I think it took us a little bit, like a few episodes in the beginning of the season, to figure out who she was and where she was coming from and what direction she was going. Because initially she was much more of a victim and like a wounded animal, and it was
She's no shrinking violet.
It was a much different character than it has evolved into.
Even the aliens something a little bit.
You kind of played both sides. It feels like two shows. Where you're living and where you came from. Are you going to get to play a little more in that world, in the other side of it?
You talking to me? Yeah. I'm sorry, I can only see a silhouette of you. I don't know where your eyes are looking. Sorry.
Yeah, well, she got to play both sides.
It's a devastatingly handsome silhouette. Don't get me wrong. Nevertheless, I couldn't see you.
But you've been more the politics side, more the upper side, out of it. Now, with the new season coming, you're going to get to play with Josh a little bit more, or see the other side.
Yes. We just Sarah and I just had a scene which was inconceivable the first season. Why would I run into her? But now, because of the storylines are crossing a little bit, and it does feed the fire. I mean, it makes everything a little more interwoven, to have those characters organically connect. So absolutely, it's not just the political side of it, it's more the familial element, I think, that gets brought in this season. We haven't been told not to say anything.
Don't go crazy.
For Maddy, she's sort of solidified herself with Nolan, and obviously they've aligned themselves with each other, and she learns more about the Greatest Day movement, and is now in much more of a power position than last season because of being with Nolan. And so the tables have turned between what was happening with her and Katie last season and what's happening this season. So before, Maddy was very reliant on Katie to get insulin and to sort of be that backbone to help her get through having a sick child. And now Katie's sort of had everything stripped from her, and she has one child left at home. Will is gone, Charlie's gone, Bram was arrested. So she's now coming to Maddy for help. So it's flipped itself.
I think it's a couple of years ago. Well, it wasn't this con; it was another con. The best one had to be when we came out for season 2 on Heroes. We were in Hall D, and we had 6,000 people. And we showed a clip of what was coming, and Tim walked out with a briefcase handcuffed to him and had a DVD in it and all that stuff, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a YouTube channel at the time that I would put stuff up on. I still have it. Haven't done it in a while, but the reaction from the fans was priceless. It's still up. You can check it out. It's fun.
The last time I was here was Friday the 13th.
You were here on a Friday the 13th?
Yeah, on a Friday the 13th. Promoting Friday the 13th, yeah. It's crazy, mind-blowing. I know, it's crazy. It was, I think the response, that was the first time I think I'd seen the trailer for the movie. And the response from the fans was awesome. It was overwhelming, amazing.
That's the best, isn't it? When you connect with fans on a level like that,
really
that's super cool.